Hello everybody and welcome to this live stream session for Swoosh English and Connetics. My name is Luke, and in this session today we are going to be looking at IELTS writing. Hi Kior, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Welcome to the stream. So let's get started. It's just gone 4 o'clock. And a very chilly day here in England, so I've got a jumper on today because it's quite cold outside. So today we are going to be looking a bit at brainstorming. This is how you can get ideas for your IELTS writing. Hi Sabah, welcome. So when we're generating ideas, it's really important to remember that there is no right answer. There are lots of different ways to handle some of these questions, and there are different structures that you can use. The important thing to remember is there are definitely also wrong answers. You need to be on topic. So how you deal with the topic is going to be really important here. When you're trying to generate ideas for your IELTS writing, it's really important that you remember to read quite a lot. Reading is so important for your IELTS. If you don't read enough, make sure that you're doing more reading. Some of these topics could be things that you haven't thought about before, so it's really important that as you read and as you prepare for your IELTS test, you make sure that you are taking notes. Think about the ideas in the things that you are reading, because you may be able to apply them for your IELTS writing. Remember also that you need to plan every essay. This can take up to 5 minutes. So it's quite a significant amount of time. Remember, you've got 40 minutes for your task too. Up to 5 minutes of that could be spent on planning your essay. Welcome, Amam. Great to have you with us. Thanks for coming along. If you plan your essay, you will write a lot more quickly and coherently. One of the things people often say is 5 minutes seems like a long time to write my plan. Remember, this is really important for your task achievement, and task achievement is a quarter of your IELTS writing score. So if you're not planning your essay, as you're writing, you're trying to add in new ideas, it may become a little bit incoherent and you may not fully answer the question. So always do a plan. Make sure you write your plan down, because without planning an essay, you risk not covering every part of the topic. So it's really important for task achievement. When you're generating your ideas, make sure you write down every idea you have, and this is called brainstorming. Some people don't understand when I say write down, I mean physically write it down. If you don't write it, you won't make more ideas. The same few ideas just go round in circles. The process of writing will also help you to generate more ideas for your task too. So make sure that your plan is written. Don't just do it in your head. Also, the other reason it's important to write down your ideas is because as you're writing your essay, you may want to refer back to your plan. So once you've got your plan, you've already done the ideas part. Now you just have to worry about how you are going to express them using a nice range of grammar and vocabulary. So it will make your writing so much easier. So we've got a topic here. I want you to take a minute just to read this question, and then we will go through it and we will look at some of the things that are important here. So just take a minute, read this question, and then we will look at the question in a bit more detail. I'll give you a minute just to think about that. What things are important in this question? What are you being asked to do? make sure that you are thinking about that. What are you being asked to do here? Any ideas? You can pop them in the comments box on Facebook or on YouTube as well. Hi, Saba, coming to us from Pakistan. Yeah, the writing portion is very difficult. Yeah, and Saba needs it for your IELTS academic for scholarship purposes. Okay, so quite important to do well on that task 2 essay. Remember, the task 2 here is 2/3 of your writing score, so it's really important to do it well. Right, so we've got this question. The number of people who are overweight or obese is far higher than previous generations. What are the reasons for this, and how can this problem be tackled? So it's asking for causes and solutions. This is a causes and solutions question. Now, the way that we would do this, so we've got a problem. We've got, in this case, obesity or being overweight. So we would start off by thinking about all the different things that could affect people's weight. So some ideas here. Well, why are people more overweight today than they were previously? There are a few things that we could talk about. The big and most obvious ones are probably diet, so the things that you eat, and also exercise, doing enough exercise and making sure that you're burning the energy from the food you consume. So diet, well, let's think a bit more. What could we talk about for our diet? We need to develop the idea. So we're talking about brainstorming food. What kinds of food are unhealthy? What kinds of food make people overweight? This could be food with lots of sugar or fat. So this is giving us the idea, imbalanced diets. Why is it a bit higher today? Well, it's very easy to buy lots of ready meals from supermarkets, and fast food as well is quite common. Especially in the West, one of the issues that you may have is some of the questions here may seem to favor a certain part of the world over others. So it would, for some people coming from the developing world, this essay might seem a little bit strange, but this is a problem in Western countries. So make sure that when you're doing that reading we talked about earlier, make sure that you are referring to Western media sources. You could read a little bit about these, very common in the news. You may also see articles in magazines, and some of those IELTS reading passages talk about this as well. So in the West, lots of fast food, ready meals that you buy in the supermarket, or junk food, and they are quite high in things like fat and sugar. So people could have an imbalanced diet. How could we solve that problem? Well, this is probably going to require government intervention. So you could, for example, improve education. That could be one way to solve it. If you educate people about healthy diets and make sure that they know how to cook properly, that could be one way to solve this problem. Another thing that you could consider is the role that price plays in the kinds of choices people make. So you could talk here about taxes. You could also talk about regulations or laws. So how do governments stop people from doing things? They make them more expensive through taxes, or they might pass laws that prohibit certain things. In the UK, we have recently introduced something called a sugar tax. So drinks which contain very high amounts of sugar carry higher taxes. They're a bit more expensive, and hopefully people will buy fewer of those unhealthy drinks. And that the hope is that that will improve people's diets. The other thing you could mention here might be exercise. So once you've taken in all the energy from the food you eat, you then need to burn it. So we could think here about exercise and why people may do less of it today than they did in the past. Lots of people who work office jobs, for example, rather than physical labor with their hands, spend all day sitting down. They're not very active. That could cause problems with not enough exercise. You could link this to another big IELTS topic here of transport. The way that people move around has changed, especially private cars, driving to and from work, where in the past people may have walked. Even taking public transport is better than driving in a car, because you have to walk to and from the bus stop or to the train station. So all of those things contribute to more exercise. I think a really good paragraph here could be about the role of private cars. You could talk about the amount of sports that people do. Why do people do less sports today than they did in the past? And there are lots and lots of reasons for all of these things. It's a huge topic. I would think about things like entertainment. So if I think exercise, entertainment, why don't people do sports? Maybe they spend more time, for example, watching television or spending time in front of their computers, on the internet, or playing video games. So there is definitely a connection between technology and entertainment and this topic of obesity. How could you solve those problems? Quite a difficult problem to solve. You could, for example, encourage more people to participate in sports in school. Maybe community sports programs to encourage people to be a little more active as well. Hi, Alice. Hi, welcome. Great to have you with us. So there are lots of different things that you could talk about here. So what have I done? I've looked at the question. I've got the topic obesity or being overweight. What are the reasons? The first things I think of, diet and exercise. I then take those two topics and develop them a little bit. I think about the other things I could talk about, trying to think about causes, linking and developing all those ideas. So imbalanced diets, why are they imbalanced? They have too much fat or sugar. Okay, why do people buy them? They're relatively easy to get. There are lots of fast food and junk restaurants, or you can buy it from the supermarket. Okay, how would I solve that problem? There's so many ways to solve it. You could talk about the role of government. So, for example, laws or taxes. You could also talk here about education. That might be another solution. And then with exercise, why don't people do more exercise today than they did in the past? Well, there are alternatives. What are the alternatives? Things like television or internet. Okay, how would I solve those problems? Difficult one to solve. Maybe more sports in schools or community exercise programs to encourage people to participate in sports. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be factually accurate. It just needs to make sense. This isn't a test of knowledge. This is a test of how well you can express an idea. Okay, so we've got this this topic. We've looked a little bit of idea development there. If you look, we have one of these. It's actually chosen diet as the topic. So reorder the following ideas into paragraphs or a paragraph. So can you identify, read through each of these sentences and identify which one is the topic sentence that's going to come first. How does that idea develop to a conclusion? So I'll give you a minute to think about that. What could we say for this topic? What could we talk about here? Can we reorder these sentences into a proper paragraph? Think about how the ideas relate to each other. As ever, just pop your ideas into the chat box and we will see how people do. So I'll give you a minute just to think about that. How are you going to reorder this? What do we think comes first here? Can you see a good topic sentence? Okay, Alice thinks B. Yeah. Could be B. Is there a slightly more general sentence there? Yeah. Okay, Romy thinks C, Amam thinks B, Anna thinks C. Oh, so we've got lots of people. So we've got the two. It's really good. We've got the two obvious contenders here. Think which one is a bit more general. Rowena thinks C as well. Yeah. Lab's got B. Also, we've got quite an even split here. Okay, what do you think comes second? So let's read through these sentences together. Oh, Harriet has given us all of the answers. Let's just have a look. Think that looks pretty good, Harriet. Yeah, I think you've got it. So good. Well done to you. Really good, Harriet. Anne as well thinks C. So yeah, and yeah. Hi, Aram. Hi, welcome. Thanks for coming along. Okay, yeah. So let's have a look at some of these sentences. This would hopefully encourage consumers to buy healthier food and therefore lose weight. That sounds like a concluding point. Yeah. So A sounds like it comes either fairly late in the paragraph, either last or second last. It is common these days for people to eat takeaway food or pick up a ready meal from the supermarket rather than cook a healthy meal. That could be a topic sentence. Let's look at the next one. One of the reasons that so many people are overweight is that they eat junk food instead of cooking a healthy meal. One of the reasons, that's introducing a reason, introducing a cause. That is a very good contender for starting your paragraph. D, to address this issue, the government could increase sales tax on food considered to be unhealthy. That's giving a solution. That is towards the second part of the later part of the paragraph here. For instance, in the UK, sales of pre-prepared meals which contain high levels of fat and salt have increased dramatically in the last few years. So that there is an example. It's going to come a bit later, probably towards the middle of the paragraph. Let's have a look at the correct order then. So we've got C first there. one of the reasons that so many people are overweight is that they eat junk food instead of cooking a healthy meal. Why does it come first? It's telling us one of the reasons and then introducing this idea of diet and junk food. B gets a bit more specific. It's common to eat takeaway food or pick up a ready meal from the supermarket. Okay, so B there gives us a bit more specific detail. It's starting to develop the idea given in C. E, that's our example. For instance, in the UK, sales of pre-prepared meals which contain high levels of fat and salt have increased dramatically in the last few years. Yeah, so that's fine. That's giving us an example to show or to highlight the idea given in B. D, okay, brilliant. Alice has got it. Yeah, well done. D, to address this issue, that's giving our solution. The government could increase sales tax on food considered to be unhealthy. Finally, A, the concluding points here, closing the paragraph. This would hopefully encourage consumers to buy healthier food and therefore lose weight. Okay, and that has developed it to a nice, logical finish. Okay, well done, Rowena, Alice, Harriet, brilliant guys, really good there. So well done. It's a bit tricky whether C or B comes first. Just think in this case, C is a bit more general, yeah? B gets more specific, takeaway food, ready meals from supermarkets. So it's taken quite a broad topic and it's narrowing it down. Okay, so there is a quick example of idea development. So brainstorming, read the question, write down all the ideas you have, think about what you could talk about. Once you've got your ideas, think about how you're going to develop them, reordering the ideas here into a paragraph. Like I said, B and C, there's a little difficulty there. B is a bit more specific. It's narrowing the topic. So well done, guys. Really good. Thank you as ever for coming along and taking the time to join us today. Remember, if you find these sessions useful, go and check out the YouTube channel because we also have previous sessions there as well, which you may also find of benefit. So thanks a lot for coming along, and I hope to see you next time, next week on Tuesday, at the slightly earlier time, UK time of 2:30 p.m. on Tuesday. You're welcome, Lab, my pleasure. You're welcome, Amam. Great to see you guys coming back. Got some nice regulars here, and lovely to see some new people coming along as well. You're welcome, Anne. Okay, take care, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. You're welcome, Anna.